Last time on Taverns and Caverns, the party wakes up and notices that Wayne the scholar is missing. Concerned, Edyard checks his room and notices scuff marks as if he's been taken away. The party leaves the tavern and stops by good old Willie's to buy a few old potions before they head to the Hollow Woods. On the way, they meet Sibo with his bodyguard Dalgrim and his two donkeys Rambo and Woody. They buy a few more supplies as they head into the woods. As they reach the woods, they decide to set up camp, and as they're setting up camp are attacked by a pack of wolves. Upon defeating the wolves, they decide to take rest for the night. Chapter 2, The Hollow Woods, Part 2.
Morning comes. It's about 6 a.m. You guys are now awake, feeling great. So at this point, you guys can continue your journey looking for these catacombs, or however you want to do it, but I'll leave that to you to talk it through.
Oh, let's get this over with.
Alright, shall we continue on course?
Yeah, I mean, for the morning, it is surprisingly dark still.
And we are under some pretty thick canopy.
After all the shit we've been through, this still better be the right path. We'd be really pissed off.
He takes another piece of wolf and chews it on his way out.
So which direction, or are you going to make maybe another survival check?
Yep.
Nomu, or anyone, really.
I gotta go survival.
Yeah.
I rolled 10 this time.
Okay.
I rolled 11 plus 6.
Okay, so 17.
Yes.
Alright. Edyar, you rolling? Natural 1. You got nothing.
He woke up groggy.
I'm sure Damon's just
Yeah,
going
my
to...
survival's already a 0.
Oh, so you just roll a d20, and that's whatever you get.
11.
Okay, so Sunder's got the highest.
Yeah.
So after you guys wake, and I'm assuming eat breakfast, Sunder takes a look around, and she notices some animal prints, look like deer, at least she would think, leading to another direction. And then she also notices scuffed up prints again that you guys were following before seem to show up yet again. Very light, as if they're extremely old, hard to see, but she does spot them. If you guys want to follow those, that's up to you. Or if you follow the deer tracks, that's up to you. Whichever route you take, Isundra is able to see both.
I don't see any tracks. Anybody else see anything?
I've noticed nothing at all.
No, not really.
Sorry. I was fixing my spouse. What I see? Some tracks?
So you saw some deer tracks, and then you saw some more like footprints of like that were similar to the ones you were originally following. They're both leading different directions.
So it looks like there are some human tracks going this way. Do we want to keep following the people we were following earlier, or?
I don't see why not.
Came this far.
I agree. We can go ahead and do that.
All right.
Yeah.
So as you guys follow these tracks, they soon lead you onto another pathway that takes another few hours.
Mm-hmm.
But eventually you guys come across what you've been searching for. Deep within the Hollow Woods, you find an old abandoned structure, catacombs to be exact. Within the catacombs, or along the catacombs, you see the nature of the forest has begun to take over the catacombs. There's vines, branches all over the walls of these stone-made catacombs. There is a large entrance way leading into the catacombs. However, within the entranceway, it's pitch black and it's leading down. There's a staircase leading down from the entrance. What do you do?
Roll survival check for traps, and I rolled like crap. 5.
All right.
Alright.
Would it be survival or?
Can I do an investigation?
Dude, that'd be more perception.
Perception?
Perception then.
Mhm.
Let me see.
Ooh.
Okay, I'll roll a 23 then for perception.
I rolled an
22.
11.
Okay.
Perception.
I roll hot fire.
Okay.
I rolled nothing. 5. 8.
Okay, so Eddie doesn't notice anything. What was everyone else's?
I got an
22.
11.
And 23.
You don't notice anything.
So they know.
Okay. So as you guys come across the entrance, the staircase going down, it's a very small entrance, so you have to go in one at a time.
Mm-hmm.
As you guys look at the entrance, doing the staircase, you notice a few steps down, when you take one of the torches out, Nomu and Damien, who had the high roll? Nomu notices a string along the staircase as you're walking, like a string trap. Like if you were to pull the string and whatnot. You notice a string. You don't know if it's a trap, but you notice a string that's along the stairs.
Just a second. There's something here. Looks like a trap.
He tells him about that small string. That's
So at this point, if you want to try and disengage or whatever it is, you don't know if it's a trap or not. You would attempt to make me a investigation check to see how you can figure out how to disarm it.
who has
So
a pass
we all-
investigation.
I have a
Me.
+5.
14 plus 5.
Okay, we'll pop fire again.
Hot fire.
I have
Okay.
13. What the
22.
19.
Holy crap.
Well, you are a cat.
Okay.
So you probably
This
wanna
is
play
definitely a
this.
trap. I set one of these when my mother-in-law said she was coming.
I rolled 6.
Let's say she was on bed rest for that visit.
My rolls are terrible.
I'm gonna use the other dice.
All right.
So I'll scratch
away.
right now.
If that's the case, Nomu looks at the string.
Mm-hmm.
He can see that simply cutting it probably won't be the best way to go. He can see that it leads into the, not into the wall, but it leads to the wall and it goes down the stairs. It's definitely, he would assume, maybe some sort of wired trap that might signal something or do something. Or maybe an axe or something might come out of the ceiling while you're walking down. Now, to attempt to disarm the trap, you need thieves' tools.
Oh, I got you.
You
I
need
got
that
a whole
Ada
I ain't got
burglar's.
none of
I
that.
have a burglar's kit.
Luckily, Damien has thieves' tools.
You need that Ada Wong.
Don't get the wrong idea. I'm a family man. Yep.
So, all right, Damien,
Slide
you're
it
gonna try to attempt it. Well, yeah, go ahead and do I'm trying to disarm it.
18 and 5.
All right. Damien takes
Pretty damn
his
good.
thieving tools. He studies it. Nomu tells Damien what he saw when he studied it. Damien already knows how to handle the situation. Damien cuts it and grabs the other end before it falls down, and he's able to stop whatever it was going to do. The trap has been disarmed.
Nice.
I'm not proud of how I know this. I'm gonna fuck this up, just say that.
So what do you guys do?
Well,
Continue down.
You can only go in one at a time.
well, I'm in the front, so I'll go ahead with a torch.
All right.
And can we do? You want to do stealth check? Be quiet.
That's up to you.
Yes, I do.
Yes, I do.
Be sneaky. Roll 21.
22.
13, 14, 15, but I have disadvantage on stealth checks, right?
Yes.
So that's 15,
I got a 20.
13.
Okay. What'd you get?
22.
And Nomu?
21.
So y'all did well. However, Ediar. So you're all walking down the stairs. I'm assuming Damien, Nomu, Isundra, and then Ediar.
Yep.
In that order.
Yep.
Everyone
I
is
think you
silent.
start carrying him.
Everyone is silent in their movements. However, Ediar in the very back, his shield and his chain shirt, with his metal boots clanging against the stone as he walks down the stairs.
Keep it quiet up there.
You want to try wearing some chainmail? Like, you want to try wearing some chainmail?
Oh, shit.
As you keep walking down the stairs, you eventually hit the first level, which of these catacombs. So we'll go ahead and start there. So as you enter the first room of the catacombs, it is extremely dark within the catacombs.
We all have dark vision.
Good thing you all have dark vision, because what you guys can see, go and make perception checks.
21.
18.
Okay.
No, I'm not.
9.
Okay. What'd you get?
21.
21?
I got 24.
All right. So y'all are able to see fairly well, except Ediar.
These dice suck.
When you look around the first room of the catacombs, you notice it's all stone, it's pitch black. However, along the walls, there are several little entry points where it looks like where people were basically buried within the walls. But you also notice 4 caskets, stone caskets, in the room. In the back of the room, you notice entryway, a hallway, going into what looks like another room, but you can't see that far ahead of you. What do you all do?
Check for traps. Oh wait, that's perception, right?
I was gonna say perception probably
Or
just to see what's
investigate.
up with the caskets.
Investigate. There we go.
Investigation is
Yeah.
more of a person, correct?
Oh.
Investigate. You want to do perception to notice anything.
Oh damn!
Yeah.
I rolled a nat 20.
All right.
I rolled 6.
5.
Eddie are sucking today.
Better than me.
You gotta power the dice up first. Man.
Power.
So what did Damien get?
5.
5. And Asundra?
23.
All right. And you got a nat 20, Nomu?
Mm-hmm.
So, as you're looking around for traps
Oh,
or
shit.
whatnot, you don't notice anything trap-like within this room. Nothing really sticks out like the string did.
Mm-hmm.
However, when you're looking around the walls, there's nothing in the holes in the walls.
Nope.
You notice, when you do take a peek into them, you notice skeletal remains of the dead.
Mm-hmm.
Are you looking into the caskets, you said?
Let me try and check them out.
Okay, the caskets are all made of stone. They're all probably about each 8 feet long. Each one has a cover on top of it, though, stone cover. You guys leave the covers on? Or are you trying to look into the caskets?
I mean, is there anything shiny on it? No one's probably gonna walk right past it.
Nothing shiny about these
Oh, he's
caskets.
gonna walk right past it, ghosting it.
Okay. So Naomi walks past the caskets towards the hallway leading to the second room.
Sooner wants
Eddie
to
all
like
walks to the room.
check 'em out.
I'm not here to be a grave robber. Walks past the caskets.
Okay. All right.
I am. Going right up to it. I got kids to feed. Fuck you guys. Where is it? Just,
So she
Yeah,
walks
you're
up, or he walks
oh,
up
more
to
up there.
one of the caskets. He's gonna open it up, move the slabs. The stone slabs they're not heavy, so Damon can easily remove it. So as he goes to remove it, he looks in and he sees basically another skeletal remain. This one's robed. However, as he opens the casket, something jumps up at him with a dagger.
Oh, fuck!
What jumps out at Damien? What's your AC again?
15.
15? Damien notices a dagger come right after him. And he also hears a little goblin jumps out
I don't like it.
and slashes at his throat but misses. Damien's able to back away. And the goblin looks up at Damien. And he starts screaming all around. So at this point, things are happening.
Things are happening.
Did we get our HP back from that rest?
Yes.
Yes, we
So, it is Sundra has the initiative at this point.
We're using our level 2 HP, right?
Yes, you're
Okay.
a level 2 now.
Where's this goblin at?
He popped it
He popped out of the
right in front of me.
casket that
That she was at?
that or not Sundra,
He
but
was
Damien was.
I didn't even get the chance to fucking search it. This is for nothing.
What
Alright.
did you do?
Nothing.
I'm gonna try to attack with
We'll say this is
one
one
axe.
of them. Okay. It jumps out of the casket onto the stone slab that Damien just slightly moved to the side. And it is loud.
I don't like it. Yeah, I don't roll that great, bitch. 8 plus 6, right? My spell attack bonus?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Alright, so you have 14. What did you cast?
Eldritch Blast.
Okay. Your Eldritch Blast misses.
Fuck me.
It goes right over the goblin's head.
He's 3 foot. Go lower.
The goblin now, in front of Damien, looks up and swings again at him.
Fucking out of me.
This is quite
It
cute.
it hits with its dagger. And you are taking 1d6 plus 2. 4 damage. Damien takes cut to the chest. The goblin keeps screaming. And what happens is the other caskets within the room begin to move. And more goblins peek their heads out
Oh,
and jump out of the caskets.
We need a slayer.
God damn it, Damien.
I'm sorry.
They basically heard you all coming and prepared themselves. Thanks to Ediar's loud
3 or 4?
walking. There's 3 of them total. It is Nomu's turn.
Big ass pot.
Ah, what the hell, right bastard? The cat god.
He uses his feline agility and dashes up to the goblin that slashed at Damien.
Okay.
Has his greatsword in his hand.
Okay.
And he's going for a wide arc swing. 21.
That hits. Nomu was able to slash the goblin in the side with his greatsword for how much damage?
9.
9 damage. As the goblin finishes slashing into Damien, it laughs, not noticing Nomu's greatsword coming from the side. Nomu swings, cuts the goblin in half. Goblin drops to the ground, instantly dead. It is now Ediar or Damien's turn.
Don't just stand there and get him. He tried to kill me.
Ediar, upset with the fact that Damien has been trying to rob graves, goes attacks the goblin on the opposite side of the room.
Alright.
Walking over to the casket, Ediar uses the skill Inflict Wounds.
Alright. So what is your attack roll?
It's a spell attack.
Okay.
So
So it's a 5 plus whatever you roll.
15.
That hits just right on. So what did you do with Inflict Wounds?
Ediar enchants his mace with Inflict Wounds with a melee spell attack. On hit, the target takes 3d10 necrotic damage.
Okay.
3d. That's a lot more than I thought it was going to be.
Jeez, you hate goblins.
Uh,
3d10s. Alright. So go ahead and roll that. That's a 9. It's 4 is 13. That's another 4. 17. So you use that on your weapon?
Yeah, it's a melee spell attack.
Okay. So Ediar rushes up to the goblin on the far end of the room. He smashes his mace against the goblin's skull, instantly killing it. It drops to the ground. It is now Damien's turn.
Oh, Eddie, my boy, we work well together. Whew. So, fuck.
We wouldn't be
Two
in
of
this
them, right?
situation if you weren't trying to get raped.
None of that.
Please don't rape the guy.
Save it for later. So I'm gonna attack the one to my right.
Yep, that's the last one remaining in the room.
Oh.
He's standing on that cask. You'd have to move around. Nomu.
Look,
But you're able to
wait.
get there. You're able to get there.
Okay, so I'm gonna pull out my dagger,
big
swing.
nasty looks.
down. I'm trying to stab him in the top of the head. I'm 6 fucking foot. I'm sick of your shit, bitch.
All right. So go ahead and roll your d20 plus 5.
18.
That definitely will hit. So your dagger, roll your damage for your dagger, which is a 1d4 plus 3.
Is this one?
Pyramid looking. For 4 damage. Damien takes his dagger, slams it. He misses the head, but slams the shoulder of the goblin. And cries out in pain. It's not dead, though. It is now Isundra's turn.
Let me try to hit it with my bow. My short bow. I got 18 plus 6.
That
so-
definitely hits.
Yeah.
So do your damage.
Yes.
So as the goblin is struggling in pain from being stabbed in the shoulder, Isundra shoots her short bow,
I got a 9.
and the arrow pierces the goblin in the skull, and it drops over dead.
Get fucked.
This room is now silent. Nothing else happens. What do you do?
Woo! Crazy shit.
Is everything in this land crazy? Are you crazy?
I'm just upset. We're here to do a mission, not be robbing graves.
We spent money on the way here.
We probably would have been attacked anyways.
I'm gonna take out the next room. I'm gonna press forward.
Don't go by yourself.
So you guys are moving to the next room?
We should
I'm close
Okay.
perception that.
All right. So as you guys are moving, you reach the hallway. Are you going to make perception checks?
Investigate. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
It'd be perception.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, that's
Word
not.
just fits it so well.
There it
I
is.
chose,
Hey,
We're
now
very similar.
8.
Okay.
Rolled like trash.
I'd roll mine.
18.
Okay.
I got like 5 plus something.
16.
Trash.
Okay.
11.
All right. You guys don't really notice any traps of the sort. As you're walking through the hallways leading into the second room, it's still pitch black. The second room, though, as you look around, has, from what you can see before leaving the hallway, looks fairly empty compared to the first. However, when you leave the hallway, the person who's in the front, we have Damien and Eddie are in the front. Or, I'm sorry, Sundar and Damien are in the front. As you guys step forward, one of you steps on a plate and feels it move down a bit, setting off a trap.
It's Eddie or it's fat ass. Not me.
It is actually a Sundra.
Damn it!
As Sundra steps on the stone plate, feels her foot shift downwards.
Uh-oh.
A trap is released. And what happens is, along the wall into the second room, a spear shoots out towards her. What is your AC?
Like coming towards me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. 15.
The spear shoots right past her. She's able to dodge it.
Does that mean Nomu has to die?
Yes, so now Nomu.
Fucking Matrix dodges and shit, man.
She jumps past into the room, avoiding this incoming spear. But it's still going.
Oh, no, you need
well,
to
No, you don't. No. I have to roll.
Oh,
yeah.
15.
What's your AC?
15.
15.
15.
Nomu gets struck in the chest by an incoming spear. 4, 6 damage.
Oh!
Cat! I saw you were a cat!
Cat.
Cat. He doesn't have a name. Cat!
What the hell just happened?
Nomu has a spear sticking out of his chest at this point.
Oh.
No other traps have been set. But everyone sees a spear is in Nomu.
Yeah, it's kind of like on one knee, trying to wrench it out of his chest.
Oh shit, heal him, Eddie. He looks horrible.
Looks horrible.
Eddie walks up. I'm gonna heal you with cure wounds.
Some bandages on that bitch.
Let's see, 1d8. Or, I don't have to hit, so just 1d8.
Yeah, you don't have to touch him.
Plus
or
my
you
spellcasting
don't have
ability
to.
modifier.
And a little
So,
touch.
3 plus 5, so 8.
Alright.
Yes, you have a spell attack.
Cool.
Alright, Nomu's healed by Ediar.
I got one more spell today.
Alright, so what do you guys do now?
Well, you got your spell back, didn't you?
Huh?
Or that you have.
That was my second one this day.
Oh.
I got one more from the level up.
Ooh.
Noma looks dead at us, Sandra.
Sorry about that.
So what are y'all doing? You going to the second room?
Fuck yeah, no telling
Alright.
how much other shit is in here.
So when you guys step into the second room, I won't make you make perception checks. It's a fairly dark, it is dark, and it's a pretty plain room. It still has the holes in the walls for buried people. If you look around within the walls, you just see more skeletal remains. However, in the far right end of the room, you do notice there is a door leading into what looks like another room.
I rolled 15.
It is a stone.
He said we're not making a room.
He said he wasn't going to make you roll a perception.
Oh, okay.
No. So it is a one door though, small enough that only one of you at a time can enter it.
Mm-mm.
It is a wooden door attached to the stone.
I'll walk in first. Eddie walks up to the one door.
The loudest one.
At least don't know what kind.
No surprises.
Attempts to open the door.
You open it easily.
So, walks in.
Flies off the hinges.
Okay.
Can I make a perception check?
Yes, you may. Please do.
11, 14.
Okay. As Idiar opens the door and peeks his head in, he sees this looks like it's the last room within the tombs. You can't go any lower. In the very center, towards the wall, or against the wall, center room, a large tomb. No other burial tombs are within this room, however, or caskets or whatnot. However, sitting on that tomb at the very end, you see a goblin. He has a helmet and a chain shirt, and he has a scimitar and a javelin, and he's sitting on the tomb. And along the tomb, you see several more goblins. The goblin sitting on the tomb looks different, however. He has a chain shirt on and a scimitar and a javelin in his hands. And he's raising his hands up and points the javelin towards Ediar. He screams out at the other goblins, and the other three look over at Ediar, and they point at him. And they prepare themselves to do battle.
Guys, prepare yourselves. There's 4 goblins in this room. One of them looks more important than the rest.
Can no one else speak their language? Tell them to stop.
So I'm assuming no one knows goblin.
Nope.
Then if that's the case. Alright. So we'll go ahead and start the battle then.
Yep.
They are attacking. They heard you coming. Isundra has the first. So Ediar
We all
is
went
right
in.
here.
We're
You're
not
all
in yet.
yeah, you're all still behind Ediar.
So I have to go in the room though, right?
Yeah, it's up to you. You can hold your turn, but the monsters are next, or the goblins are next.
I guess I gotta go in there.
Yeah,
I mean, what else am I gonna do?
you can walk through your allies.
So I'm gonna be like right there.
Up around. So Isundra steps in the room and turns right immediately into the corner of the room. What's she doing?
I'm hiding. I'm gonna try to do Witch Bolt
All right.
on.
Which goblin? There's 3 surrounding the tomb, and there's 1 sitting on top of it. The one that looks important is sitting on top of it. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess the important memer.
All right. So you're trying to attack the important goblin. All right.
Is that what we're calling him?
The big memer.
Final boss.
The important goblin.
Goblin boss, basically.
19 plus 6.
That definitely
Fire.
hits.
Fucking blast his ass.
So you blast at the goblin boss. We'll just call him the goblin boss. So do your damage with your witch bolt.
Alright, hold on, I gotta see what it is. When hit the target takes 1d12. Yeah.
All right,
Is there
roll your
action?
d12.
On each one. So with this one, it stays connected when it
Yeah, so the next round you can say it hits again if you want.
Alright, I did 6.
You did that on the skeleton the last time. So
Yeah,
what's the damage?
6.
Okay. It's called witch bolt?
Yeah.
That's the lightning one, I'm assuming. So Asundra
Yeah,
sends a
blast.
lightning bolt that's connected to their hand towards the goblin boss. However, right before it reaches the goblin boss does have a skill for reactions. He redirects the attack, and he switches himself with the goblin in front of him.
Dirty.
He grabs the goblin in front of the tomb.
That's fucked up, man.
Dirty.
We'll just use this guy, so it's easier to...
Bigger, yeah.
He grabs the goblin in front of the tomb, pulls him up, and he jumps off the tomb, and the goblin instead takes the hit for him. And how much damage did you say? 6?
6, I think, yeah.
The goblin that he pulls takes the hit brunt first. And he gets shocked, however, he's still up, but he's all on the tomb, shaking. The goblin boss looks at Isundra and points his scimitar. Super pissed. It is now their turn. The goblin boss takes his javelin and he throws it
Oh my god, he's like the Night King.
at Isundra, upset that she shot at him. What is Isundra's AC again?
What'd you roll?
No, tell me your AC.
15.
15? Alright. So the javelin he throws flies forward and it misses, hits the wall.
Call me Neo.
The other goblin that's on the left of the goblin
Agent
boss
Smith.
charges at Ediar. And it attacks.
So
With-
is my spell still connected to
Yes,
which
it's
one then?
The one that was hit. The one on top.
This one?
Yes.
Okay.
The one on top of the tomb.
I wouldn't know if it was the one that was
The goblin rushes up towards Ediar and it slashes up at him. And your AC is?
18.
So the goblin goes up
Oh, she might
and
be-
slashes. Gets an 18. Ediar takes 5 damage. The other goblin that is on the other side of the tomb rushes as well towards Ediar. And it jumps up with his scimitar. And it swings down at him. This one, though, he's able to block with his shield. The goblin on top of the tomb that is being shocked. He jumps down. And he stays there next to the tomb, hurting. It is now Nomu's turn.
Can I even get in that room?
You can walk through your allies.
Well, there are like.
Yeah. You can go. You have to go around Ediar, who's basically in the front of the door, but you can get through him.
I'll move around the allies in the door, and
Okay.
I have my flail in my hand. And I come, have the flail descend on this guy.
The one that just
attacking Ediar.
The one that just hit him, because there's
Yep.
2 up against him.
Yeah, the one that just hit him.
All right.
Take good old fashioned revenge. 20.
20 to hit.
Yep.
All right. Was that not a nat 20 though?
No.
Okay. You're able to hit the goblin. Nomu goes in with his weapon.
Does
Swings
8 damage.
8 damage to the goblin. The goblin is hit in the back of the head, and it falls limp, dead.
Damn.
Nomu vanquishes the goblin. Drops. Now it is Ediar's turn or Damien's turn.
I'm still bitter about earlier.
Damien can hear battle going on. He hears Damien's shield hitting a sword clang, and he also hears Ediar kind of grunt from taking the blow.
Let me in. All right.
So as Damien rushes in, he can see there is a goblin in between Ediar and Nomu, and 2 other goblins in the far end of the room on top of the tomb,
So if you
or
wanted to like
next to the tomb.
backstab, you could. Right?
You can go around.
Yeah, you go like around the one that's
Yeah,
attacking
you can go
Ediar and
around.
backstab if Damien
All
wanted
right.
to.
So I'm creeping. I'm crouched. I'm going around my opponent for a sneak attack. And I'm pretty much, by crouched, I mean...
So they don't know how
Some
many of you
Skyrim
there
shit.
are. So I'm not going to just let you get a sneak attack on.
Okay.
So I will make you do a stealth roll
That's fair. Okay.
to see if they notice you.
18.
All right. You did higher than them. So the goblin's too worried about Nomu and Ediar and Asundra right now that it doesn't notice Damien stealth in. So go ahead and attack the goblin.
Got my good dagger out.
And because he is surrounded now, you have an advantage. So roll twice and take your highest roll.
Alright, so 12.
So you go with the 12. 12 plus 5 is 17. So you're able to sneak attack the goblin.
Nice.
So go ahead and do your damage. Your sneak attack's 1d6. Plus... So, but that's an extra damage. So 1 plus... You're using your dagger or your rapier?
The dagger.
So go and roll your 1d4 plus 3. So 5 plus the 1. So you do 6 damage to the goblin. The goblin gets stabbed in the side. Ah! He screams out in pain. However, he's still up, but he's really hurt. It is now Ediar's turn.
Ediar, facing the goblin, swings his mace down upon his head.
That's going to hit. So do your damage. 5.
Plus 3, so 8.
The goblin takes the mace straight in the face. It drops to the ground, instantly dead. Isundra?
Can I move after?
Yes,
I
you
attack?
can move after you attack.
Ediar then repositions himself in front of the party, next to the goblin leader.
Alright. Goblin leader looks at Ediar and growls. And it takes the scimitar in both hands, preparing itself. Alright, it is now Isundra's turn.
I don't have to roll to hit again, right?
No,
I'm
it's
still
just, you can
connected.
still,
Just roll a d20.
just roll the damage. The damage, yeah.
9.
So 9. The goblin that's still being shocked by Isundra's spell bursts, his chest bursts open as his rib cages kind of become visible.
Gruesome.
He's dead.
Confetti.
Gruesome.
The goblin boss is now by himself. He looks around. There's no escape except through you guys. So it prepares itself to ride or die.
To get fucked.
It goes, and it swings at Ediar. I'm gonna roll this. And Ediar blocks the first attack. However, the goblin boss does have multi-attack. So it gets a second roll. This time it hits.
He's messing with Junko.
Yes. Ediar takes
Wrestling a bear.
another 5 damage. The Goblin Boss is no joke. He swings and hits Ediar's arm. 5 damage. It looks at Ediar's face. What's your HP?
11.
Looks at Ediar's face. And it laughs.
Oh shit.
I've got one more spell today, so.
Alright. It is now Nomu.
You did right. I'm actually, still got my foot on my hand. I'm just gonna move up to the goblin boss and try
Alright.
to intimidate him.
Alright.
See if he understands me. Cease your attack or die.
Roll your d20. Intimidate.
My intimidate is 10.
Okay.
He thinks you a pussy.
He looks up at the cat. Pussy. He's not intimidated.
Nomu shakes his head and then lets the flail descend. I roll a 21.
That will hit the Goblin Boss.
Yep.
Let's do your damage.
8 damage.
Goblin Boss takes 8 damage straight up.
The flail descends.
Goblin Boss takes a hit, looks up at Nomu. He's still healthy. He's not afraid to back down. It is now Ediar or Damien.
Ediar cast for his last spell today. Actually,
Does he announce that?
His
During
last.
this out for his last spell today.
Ain't doing much more shit.
What's he cast?
wait a second. Sorry. I thought I had what I wanted.
Oh, I forgot to add. Oh no, I didn't use Eldritch.
Actually, I don't
Spells,
think I did.
think.
Never. Those are ability checks. No, these aren't what I want. These don't help me. My cantrips don't help me. Got it. I'm at 11. I'm gonna cast Cure Wounds on myself.
Okay.
Is he boring? Is he boring? Are you
So it is now Damien's turn.
Or I don't have to. Well, I gotta roll the
Yeah,
D8.
you don't have to like hit anything.
You have 30 minutes. to do it.
That's 10.
That's 10.
Mhm.
Wait, that's not D8. Okay.
Yes, sir.
7.
7 plus 5.
I thought it was a 1 first.
Damien's turn.
Fine.
So that's 12. So that puts me back to 4.
So I'm behind.
And you're behind Ediar. What you
And-
see in front of Ediar is the Goblin Boss that just hit him really hard with his scimitar.
Alright. So I like to use my acrobatics. You know I'm about aesthetic. I'm going to grab onto Ediar's shoulder and flip over him for a rapier attack
Alright.
to
Like
the
that.
face.
Alright, so go on to acrobatics check.
16.
16. He grabs onto Ediar's shoulders and is able to jump over and land behind the goblin onto the tomb as his rapier stabs down at him. So go ahead and roll your
Like he's trying to help.
attack.
Ugh, 5.
5 plus your 5, so 10. So Damien looks extremely cool, jumping over Ediar and flipping over the goblin, landing on the tomb and slashing or piercing or stabbing his rapier at the goblin. However, he misses horribly, but looks cool doing so.
I ripped your cloak.
It is now Isundra's turn.
Okay.
You hit. I had a line I was going to use, but you missed. You missed.
Look, okay.
Damien's all about the aesthetics. Doesn't matter if he hits or misses. It's just
I was going to say, maybe we did make a good team. But
Do you
if you're
think-
missing your attacks, maybe.
Stop it. He's shorter than I thought.
Do you think with Hex, I only deal extra damage when I hit it?
What's
It
the?
says, until the spell ends, you deal an extra 1d6 necrotic damage to the target when you hit it with an attack.
This is when you hit
But
it.
no one else.
Yeah, so it's just you.
So we'll just switch bolt again, probably.
Okay. So go ahead and roll your d20 with your spellcasting ability modifier. Your spell attack bonus.
Put the wrong thing on.
I had a plan, but then
I think that's what I'm doing. Hold on 1 second.
it's only saving throws and ability checks.
Okay.
I gotta figure out what to use
It's
this
not
for.
really that close to me, so yeah, we'll do that.
Okay.
14 plus 6.
14 plus 6, so that's 20. That will hit
Hits.
the goblin boss.
And then it's a 1d12. 6.
6 damage. The goblin boss takes the lightning into his shoulder for 6 damage. He screams out, "Ah!" It hurts him pretty bad.
But it stays connected because I have 2
Yeah.
spell slots now.
Okay. It is now Nomu, or the Goblin Boss's turn.
Yep.
The Goblin Boss looks up at Ediar, seeing that he's healed himself. He decides to go for another target. He swings up at Nomu with his scimitar. Hits. He gets a second attack, but it's at a disadvantage. He misses. Still misses. But the first hit will hit.
Alright.
Nomu takes 5 damage.
What did I tell you? Cease your attack.
It is now Nomu's turn.
Marengo's
Nomu's
pissed.
turn.
And Marengo's mad.
I only have one more spell. The compel duel.
Alright. Nomu.
I told you to cease your attack.
He's grabbing him.
Alright.
Oh, God. That's terrible.
When you roll,
5.
he rolls an 18.
That's
He
terrible.
uses
Super
acrobatics.
dumb,
And he jumps in between Nomu's arms, and Nomu's not able to grab him. Now Ediar.
Spoiled, I guess.
Eddie fully healed up, swings his mace, going for an underswing.
Trying to get him out of the job.
8 plus...
You miss. Ediar misses. The Goblin Boss spins around and dodges after jumping through Nomu's arms.
Eddie, he's slippery.
I won't lie, he's kind of fucking cool.
Damien's turn.
Alright. Still got that dagger out.
You are behind him
He's
on
yet
top
to
of the
turn
tomb.
around.
Yep. So he is basically surrounded between you and Ediar, so you have an advantage. So you roll twice and go with the higher number.
12.
Plus 5, 17. So you go with the 17. The 17 hits. So do your damage with the dagger.
Which one?
So it's
Oh,
the
yeah.
D4. Yeah. Plus 3. 4 damage. Damien takes his dagger
Shoulder blade hit.
and he shanks the goblin again in the back. He screams out and he looks at Damien extremely pissed. He takes his scimitar and he readies it like he's going to attack Damien next. It is now Isundra's turn.
I'm still connected, so
Mhm.
I'm just gonna keep lightning bolting. 12.
Holy moly. So the goblin boss looks at Damon as if he's about to swing up at Damon with all his strength, but before he can do so, Isundra's witch bolt that's connected to him shatters him. His head explodes.
Suck it.
Damn.
Guts all over
Damn.
Damien's face. Oh, that's nice.
Why is this hit for so hard? I don't understand.
That was close.
What the hell were they guarding in this place?
Well, I don't tend to have the best luck. Someone else look.
Yeah,
So
Nomu's
the-
just gonna take a look.
Go and do perception checks.
Yep.
17.
13.
Plus
7.
6. 17 plus 6.
Alright, if you got higher than 10, you're able to look around.
Got
So
Shit.
everyone looks around the room. It's an extremely old, ancient tomb. There is nothing of value necessarily in this room. However, you go to the tomb that the goblin boss was sitting on. You open it. You move the stone slab to the side.
Mm-hmm.
You notice there is yet again skeletal remains. However, the skeletal remains within this tomb is covered in a cloak, a purple silk cloak. And on top of the skeleton's head, you notice there is a circlet on the skull's head. On the circlet, however, is engraved several gems. So in the middle, there is a diamond. To the right of the diamond, there is a ruby. To the right of the ruby is an emerald. To the left of the diamond is a sapphire. To the left of that is a bloodstone. It is a golden circlet. Also in that tomb,
What was the last one?
you notice bloodstone. Also in the tomb, you do notice that there are other treasures of whatnot within that tomb. Laying next to the skeletal remains, there is a golden locket with a painted portrait inside. You also notice that there are 2 moonstones on the side of the skeletal remains. And then again, the cloak that the skeleton is wearing is a purple silk robe or cloak with embroidery all around it. So it looks fairly fancy.
Gnome was already intrigued. You see shiny objects.
So the circlet, 2 moonstones, and then the silk cloak is what's in that tomb. So it's as if the goblin boss and the goblins were keeping that as their treasure and guarding it. They have made this their home, obviously.
And paid for it.
So what do you guys do?
Do you guys think I could wear this cloak?
You have to fight me for it.
For the cloak?
Yes.
I exposed his head and saved you.
Desiree would love it. Don't be selfish.
But Desiree didn't help us win this fight.
Oh, you gonna go there? Cool.
Ediar picks up the moonstones and examines them.
Rolls an 18. You got an 18. You're good. So he investigates the moonstones, and he's able to see that they're in perfect condition. And he's seen them before go for a price for about 50 gold coins each.
Since this loot is from the goblins and not from robbing graves, how about we take these moonstones back to town, sell them, and split the profits?
Someone's in that too. Grave robber. I'm down. I'm on your side.
So, anything else you guys are doing with it?
So, this is the object that the hooded guy was looking for?
We've yet to see anything closer to his description than that. Take it anyway.
Fine, as long as he doesn't pitch a bitch about it.
Toss me that locket.
Gnome tosses the locket.
You rolled a
20.
nat 20. So, Damon looks at the locket, opens it. He sees it's about the size of his fist. When he opens the locket, there's a painting of a woman, extremely beautiful. Behind her, it looks like there is a lake or a pond of some sort. And then there's a tree with a giant hole in it. But he can't see what's in that hole. But the locket itself is gold.
Looks at it. Snaps it closed. Pockets it. Alright. That just leaves the cloak. You can wear it back. As soon, girl. But you cannot have it.
But I think it's made for me, don't you think?
We'll talk more. Rips the cloak off the neck. Tosses it to her.
Sindri puts it on and looks hella happy.
You look alright.
Alright, and that's where we'll end this episode.
Thank you for listening to Taverns and Caverns. Till next time, everybody. You can follow us on Twitter at Taverns Caverns. Again, on Twitter at Taverns Caverns.